Ha 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 ha! Ha ha! I'm rich! I'm rich! Look at this gold! I'm rich! I can't believe it! I'm rich! And it's real! It's real! It is real! It's fake. It's eh. Guess I'm back to being poor. Welcome everybody. Film Fan 108 here with another Netflix Nights, number 15, where I'll be talking about the movie Gold. But before we do, let's see what the good folks over at Netflix have for a synopsis for us today, shall we? In this epic crime caper based on real-life events, an out-of-luck gold prospector and a willing geologist pull off a brazen scam. Falsely claiming to have located a major gold deposit in Indonesia, the duo proceeds to hoodwink the experts. Rated R, and from 2016. And this is a movie that I really wanted to see in the movie theaters. And unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to really see it. And I finally put it on my Netflix queue, and I ended up deciding, okay, I'll watch it. And I'm a fan of Matthew McConaughey. I think Matthew McConaughey actually is really hitting it out of the park, minus the recently released Dark Tower, which, not good. But overall, look, he's a solid kind of an actor. He just does solid work. I mean, he knows his limitations and he's trying to work towards roles that fit him and fit his style. And he's done pretty good so far. And he, in this role, is electrifying. He does an amazing job in this role as this prospector, businessman who is sort of down on his luck. His father did this, his grandfather did this, his great-grandfather did this, so on and so forth. And he has this business and it's failing, and he has this urge to want to go and find this gold in, I think, Indonesia it is, and talks to this guy who he knew like 6 or so years back that he thinks can help him, and it just spins out of control from there. And honestly, he just does such a great job, and he really transforms into the role. This guy shaved his head, he gained about 45 pounds worth of weight, he put on like fake teeth or something for the role. He really gave it his all, and you could tell that really, maybe he was trying to go for another Oscar, possibly. And I kind of wish that he would have gotten nominated for this role, because it is really good. He's really solid in it. And I think that other people probably could have done just as better of a job, but I think he fit the role perfectly. In fact, Christian Bale was up for this role before Matthew McConaughey, and I think Christian Bale would have done just as good of a job, but this really fits Matthew McConaughey very well. Also, you have Edgar Ramirez in this movie playing the other business partner of Matthew McConaughey's character, who is the one who's going into Indonesia, who is really the one that's, doing everything there to try to extract the gold. And he does a really great job in this role as well. And you've also got Bryce Dallas Howard in this movie. And she plays kind of a small role, but it's a rather significant role that she plays. And she does a really solid job with that role. And I believe who was up for that role before her was actually Michelle Williams. And I think, again, Michelle Williams would have done a really great job with this role. Again, you have these characters who I feel like other actors could have done just as good of a job, but they fit in there perfectly. You've also got Craig T. Nelson in a very small role at the beginning of this movie, and I believe I kind of wrote down notes for this one, guys. So I wrote down notes, and oh yeah, you also have Corey Stoll in this movie as a Wall Street businessman, and you also have Toby Kebbell in this movie as one of the FBI agents as well. So there is a really a lot of people in this movie, and they're all good. They all do a great job with the role. And this movie is also directed by Stephen Gaghan. Now, weirdly enough, there were actually a couple other directors that were up for this movie before he ever was. I believe, if I'm looking at this, oh yeah, Michael Mann and Paul Haggis. Two really great directors who I think probably would have done a great job with this movie. They went off to do other things. He ended up coming in, and this movie was his first theatrical release in 11 years. The last movie he had done before that was Syriana in 2005. So he took a long time off of directing for this, and I think it's a very well done movie. I think he gets the performances out of the actors. I think everything looks extremely well shot. The editing is pretty damn good. I think he really controls the movie very well, and you can see that he has a direction he wants to take the movie. I think some of the explanations are a little bit tough to understand at times. How I mean by that is I mean that you have these actors explaining these things about mining and about gold deposits and some Wall Street jargon, and a lot of it sometimes is really tough to understand. I feel like they could have maybe tightened that up a little bit and maybe given us a better understanding of how it all works. It was not as good as it could have been in that aspect of it, but I think again the director really holds it all together pretty well, and Stephen Gaghan did a really good job doing this movie. I think the colors pop in this movie. You have a lot of, you know, the money, which is the green. You have the gold, which is sort of, you know, gold. Yep. You have gold. You have, you know, the idea of, you know, looking into the Wall Street Stock Exchange. You have that. You also, you know, have sort of the greens and the mud and everything else over where they're mining. So you have a lot of different kind of colors coming together, and I think that they do a really great job with that. I think everything really comes together pretty darn good. I will say this, that this is based on, well, it's inspired by a true story. And I actually looked into the true story itself. And basically, the thing about this story is that in a lot of ways, there's a lot of major differences between sort of what happened with the business partners to how everything went down. There's a lot of similarities and there's a lot of differences, and I encourage you guys, if you haven't checked it out, to check the movie out and then go on Google and just sort of type in, you know, gold true story or something like that. I think you'll get results for it. And the idea of these guys duping Wall Street, duping all of these experts, there's a sense of, did Matthew McConaughey's character know what he was doing? And I'm going to tell you guys that in the movie, you don't really know for sure. I mean, he's extremely sincere in the movie, and you buy everything that Matthew McConaughey is saying. In real life, this guy has claimed time and time again, up and down, over many, many years, that he swears that he did not know at all what went on. He did not know anything about the salting of the gold. He did not know anything about that. And basically, the guy who Edgar Ramirez plays, who is basically the other business partner, in real life, it's kind of up in the air. Did he die? Did he fake his death and he's still around living. There's no real truth to anything. There's rumors, and even in the movie they kind of leave you hanging in like what really happened with this guy and what went down. I think it's all incredibly fascinating. The idea that the gold was completely fake. The idea that these guys salted gold off of a wedding band to make it look like it was gold and fooled the world. And look, this was back in the 90s when, there was pre-internet, so you couldn't really look up stuff. And look, even in the movie, they say, no one did the research to look into this because nobody wanted to. It was so good and it was so worthwhile for everybody that people just went along with it. And in real life, look, people lost their savings, people lost their homes, their entire lives. It's a tragedy what happened. And I think the movie treats it pretty well. It treats it as fun, sort of, we're all having a good time, to things are getting really serious and troublesome. It switches on a dime, and I think the movie does a really good job with that. Again, I would absolutely encourage you guys to look up the story of what really happened. And overall, this movie is a complete recommend to me. I think you guys are really going to enjoy this movie if you haven't seen it already. But if you guys have, let me know in the comments below what you thought of Gold and what you think of the real life events. If you think that these guys completely knew what they were doing, or if somebody was, just completely clueless about it. I mean, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you guys like this video, and if you like all the other videos I've been doing, hit that subscribe button, and you're going to get a lot more of it. Also, I am on Twitter and Facebook, FilmFan108, so check me out there. Alright guys, Netflix Nights number 15 is in the books, and I will see you next time for another one. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.